Welcome back. So, last class we were discussing the probability generating function, which is a transform which is typically used for integer valued random variables, right. So, there was the small clarification I had to make. So, the region of convergence of the PGF, I said, so it is they are disks for non-negative integer valued random variables, and if the random variable potentially takes negative values, they are generally annular regions, right. But the region of convergence always contains the unit circle, right. So, this is one clarification I want to make. Today we will study the moment generating function, which is actually defined in general for any random variables, not necessarily discrete or continuous or otherwise. And the reason we will see the reason it is called moment generating function, because it generates the moments, the nth powers of the expected nth powers of the random variable. MGF. The function mx from R to 0 infinity defined by mx of s equal to expected value of e power sx. The domain or region of convergence of mx is the set dx equal to the set of all s for which mx of s is finite. So, the moment generating function of some random variable x is like an exponential moment, okay. The expectation of e power sx, where s is the parameter, okay. And it obviously this may not exist everywhere, and the domain in which, or the region of convergence where this guy is finite, is called the domain or the region of convergence of this moment generating function, okay. Now, notice that, so I have defined it as a function that maps R to 0 infinity, right. So, what I am essentially saying is that this s is something real, some real number, right. So, again, so strictly speaking, moment generating function ought to be considered a function of a complex variable, okay. So, strictly speaking, that it is analogous to the Laplace transform, okay, and so we will see that very soon, right. So, strictly speaking, we should allow s to be complex, right, but throughout I will be a little bit sloppy about this. Part of the reason is that we have not really defined the expectation for complex valued random variables, right. We have only spoken of expectation of x, where x is some real valued random variable. We have not really spoken of, so e power s, if s is complex, e power sx will be complex, and we have not really described complex random variables in any detail, right. So, ideally we should have s is complex, but I am kind of pushing it under the carpet, okay. I am not going to be very serious about this, and for this reason, even for there are many theorems and results on the moment generating function which really require a fair amount of complex analysis to prove and understand properly, right. So, many of, in that sense, I will only be quoting results and using some properties from complex analysis without being very serious about deriving them or proving them, Okay. Okay, so this is expectation of e power s x. So if x were to be discrete, this is you would just sum up the PMFs, right. So for example, if x is discrete with PMF Px of x, then mx of s will be sum over x e power s little x Px of x, right. And if x is continuous with density f x, then m x of s is equal to integral e power s x f x of x d lambda dx, you can call it whatever you want. Okay, you are integrating x basically, maybe. So just to be clear, let me just write dx. Okay. All right. So it is in this sense that, so for continuous random variables, this moment generating function is exactly analogous to Laplace transform, except for that little minus sign you use for Laplace transform, right. Usually you put a minus here for Laplace transform, but otherwise it is the same thing. Okay. And just like in Laplace transform, you consider s as a complex number, right. Ideally that is what you should do here also, okay, to be precise, but we will just we will not do that. Okay. So just to keep things simple and to avoid contour integration and so on. Any questions on this? So let me give you some examples. We have an exponential random variable with f x of x is equal to mu e power minus mu x for x bigger than or equal to 0. Then you have mx of s is equal to integral mu e power minus mu x e power s x dx, right. This is from 0 to infinity. This is equal to, so this, if you just do this integral, you will get mu over mu minus s or s mu minus s, okay, and this is valid for s less than mu, okay. So yeah, so if you can just, for now s we are treating s as a real number, right. So we just do this integral and you can see that if s is less than mu e power minus mu x, so if you just take this up, you will get this, just simplify this. But if s were to be bigger than mu, this e power s x is growing faster than e power minus mu x, right. So you will get infinity, right. In that case the moment generating function is plus infinity, okay. So again, so there is one remark I want to make here. If you had, so again, right, so if you were doing this as a Laplace transform, right, so this will become a integral of a complex function, right. So technically in order to be rigorous, you have to do this as a contour integral, Okay. Some of you might have studied complex analysis. So, you would have to do this as a contour integral. The thing is you will get the same answer, okay, and the answer will be valid for real part of S less than mu. Okay. So, I am ignoring that bit here, okay. I am just treating S as a real number and blindly integrating it, okay. This clear? Second example, let us do a Gaussian. So, let us do a standard Gaussian 1 by square root of 2 pi e power minus x squared over 2 for x in R. Okay. So, I have to write out now mx of s is equal to integral minus infinity 1 by square root of 2 pi e power minus x squared over 2 e power sx dx, right. Fine. How do you do this integral? There is a very standard trick to do this integral. You have to square, I mean you have to complete squares in the top, right. You remember that, it is an old trick. So, you have to multiply, you have to I think do that s squared over 2 and then you do, so then multiply by e square e power minus s square over 2 and then you will have a perfect square in the top, right. You will have e power minus x minus s squared over 2, right, correct, with me. So, this is just algebra, right, this is a standard trick and then this integral is a standard Gaussian integral, right. So, this integral will become 1, okay. So, the answer will be e power s squared over 2, okay, and this is valid for all s, okay. I will say that for all s in R, okay. Actually this is, in fact this is the moment generating function for all complex values of s also, it is valid in the whole complex plane. This is not valid in the whole complex plane, it is valid for real part of s less than mu if s were to be complex, okay. So, I am so far I am just doing all this as real integrals, okay, which is not technically speaking the full, I mean it is fully correct, okay. Actually when we do Fourier transform this issue will bite us even more, okay, when we do characteristic functions, right, which is like a Fourier transform, this will bite us even more, but for now it is okay, okay. So, that is exponential, this is Gaussian, and finally let me do Cauchy. So, if you have f x of x is equal to 1 over pi 1 over 1 plus x squared x in R. Now, you try to do this integral m x of s equal to integral minus infinity to infinity e power s x over pi times 1 plus x squared dx, right. Now, what happens in this case? If s is equal to 0 you get, if s is equal to 0 you get 1, right, you are just integrating the PDF itself, right. So, by the way I mean if s is equal to 0 anyway you get the expectation of the whole thing will become 1, right. So, it is always 1, that is one of the properties I am going to state, right. So, this will become 1 for s is equal to 0, but if s is, again pretending s is real, if s is greater than 0 you have a growing exponential competing with a decaying 1 by x square type of a term, right. So, that will be infinity, right. But if S is negative, what happens? You have the opposite problem, because on the negative side it is growing, right, and 1 by x square is the decay on the negative side as well. So, what you can conclude, if S is not is equal to 0, this is not 0, this is always infinity, right, infinity otherwise, right, with me. So, if you are restricting S to real values, only for S is equal to 0 is it defined, otherwise it is infinity, it is not. So, the region of convergence in this case will be just S is equal to 0 on the real line, it is only for S is equal to 0 is the MGF finite, okay. But S is equal to 0 is always a part of the region of convergence, because as we can see the moment generating mx of 0 is always equal to 1, right, by definition. So, for this particular, so okay, there are 3 different cases, right. So, here there is a certain range where it is finite, certain range where it is not in the region of convergence. Here for all values of S, the mx of x exists. So, the region of convergence is the entire real line in this case, and here there is only one point in the region of convergence, only the origin, right. But origin is always in the region of convergence, and that is all there is in this case. There is no further there is no further points in the region of convergence. Is that clear? So, that brings us to the question, is it enough to specify the moment generating function in order to specify, if I just tell you this is the moment generating function and this is the region of convergence, is it enough to specify the random variables distribution or the random variables density in this case completely, right. So, if I were to give you, this is my moment generating function with this region of convergence, is it necessarily true that, so for the exponential this is the moment generating function, but is this true that if I only give you this, can you conclude that the, can I uniquely say that it is this PDF, or for that matter for the Gaussian, if I give you this is my moment generating function e power s square over 2 for all s, can you tell me that the random variable is the standard Gaussian, right. So, more generally if I give you the moment generating function and region of convergence, can I tell you, can you tell me the distribution uniquely, right. So, that is the, what do you think? Yes, yes or no? No, who says no? Yes. So, suppose I give you this, suppose I tell you that the it is equal to 1 for S is equal to 0 and everywhere else it is undefined or infinity, right, infinity actually. So, then what do you say, does it have to be Cauchy? So, in fact I can have 1 over 1 plus x cube, right, you will get the same answer, correct. So, if this were to be not 1 over 1 plus x squared, but 1 over 1 plus x cubed with some other constant in front, by the same argument you can conclude that, or 1 over x to the 4 for that matter, right. So, you can easily conclude that it will be the same moment generating function will be defined only for s is equal to 0 and undefined or plus infinity for s not equal to 0, correct, right. So, what do you think? So, generally the answer is no. So, I just proved that the general answer is no. If I give you the moment generating function just like this for example, there is no way you can figure out the distribution, but it seems like, I mean if you tell me something like that or something like this, it seems like you can uniquely identify what the distribution is, right. So, the complete answer to this turns out to be very interesting, but in order to appreciate it you have to know some well it requires some tools from theory of analytic functions. So, the answer is the following, if you specify if you give me the moment generating function not at one point, but in some tiny neighborhood of the origin of S is equal to 0. If you specify in any tiny neighborhood around the origin, then that is enough to specify the density uniquely. The distribution is uniquely specified by specifying the moment generating function in any tiny interval, right. The interval can be very small or very big, does not matter. So, you do not even have to tell me, for example, that e power s square over 2 is the moment generating function in all of real line. If you just tell me this is the form for a tiny interval around the origin, then it has to be Gaussian in this case, in that case it has to be exponential and so on. But if you just give it to me at one point, it is clearly not enough, right. So, I will just state this as a theorem without proof, okay. This again goes back to the theory of analytic functions. Analytic functions are these, you can think of them as these very nice functions which get completely specified if you specify them in a small interval, okay.